Major funding for this Read 180 workshop is provided by the National Science Foundation, America's investment in the future.
At Jif Peanut Butter, we know just how choosy you are when it comes to your family, including the shows you value most. Public television encourages kids' curiosity and love of learning, and Jif is proud to support Cyberchase on behalf of all choosy moms and dads.
Intel Corporation is a proud supporter of PBS. The Intel Innovation in Education Initiative provides teachers with the resources to inspire their students and encourage them to unlock their potential.
And by a ready-to-learn television cooperative agreement from the U.S. Department of Education through the Public Broadcasting Service.
And by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. This program was also made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to Workshop 2, When Disaster Strikes. From flash floods, to blazing fires, howling hurricanes, to tornadoes, there's not much you can do to prevent a natural disaster. These forces of nature are out of our control, and they can cause major destruction. You may not think of lightning as causing lots of damage, not unless you're struck by it. In your first reading, you'll meet a kid who got struck by lightning and lived. A fire, big or small, is always a disaster. But when a whole mountain goes up in flames, you're going to need a lot more than a fire truck. And the people who fight it are putting their lives on the line. We'll also be reading about one of the worst hurricanes in U.S. history, and what happened to one girl when her family didn't pay attention to the warnings. Our video story is about monster storms, some of the deadliest forces of nature and the incredible damage they cause. So watch out, get back. This workshop will blow you away. Reading 1, Struck by Lightning. Lightning. Right now, as you watch this, there are about 2,000 thunderstorms raging somewhere on the planet. And lightning from those clouds is pummeling the Earth 100 times per second. Your odds of being struck by that lightning aren't very high, only about 1 in 600,000. But what happens when someone does get struck by lightning? You'll find out in this newspaper article about a kid who went to work at a fast food restaurant when a bolt of lightning surged through the menu board and slammed into his body. Find out what happened. It's a real shocker. Reading 2, A Mountain on Fire. Sometimes fires can be a good thing. In a forest, for example, fire can be nature's way of clearing out dead wood and making way for new growth. When it's hot and dry, it doesn't take more than a spark or a bit of lightning to set a forest ablaze. Wind can fan the flames over an ever wider region, causing more and more destruction. In the magazine article, A Mountain on Fire, we learn of one devastating fire in Colorado and the brave firefighters who risked their lives battling the blaze, even sheltering themselves in flame-proof tents like these so they could be right in the middle of the raging fire. Reading 3, Hurricanes, the monster storms. Hurricanes are huge storms, hundreds of miles wide, with swirling masses of wind and water. The life cycle of a hurricane begins out at sea, but when one hits land, watch out, because hurricanes can cause some serious destruction. Because more than one hurricane can happen at a time, hurricanes are given names to help scientists track them. Fortunately, there's usually enough warning time before a hurricane reaches shore for people to move inland, away from the coast and out of the path of the storm. In this science text, you'll learn what happened to one family that did not pay attention to warnings about one of the worst hurricanes in U.S. history. Warm water and ocean breezes can be paradise. But when the conditions are right, that same air and water can combine to create one of the deadliest forces of nature. Watch what happens when weather goes wild. August 1992. The first tropical storm of the season is brewing somewhere over the Atlantic Ocean. What started as a cluster of rainstorms out at sea is now one huge storm, forming a spiral of high-speed winds with an area of calm in the center, known as the eye. As the storm travels across the ocean, it pulls warm, moist air up into the areas surrounding the eye, and the spiral spins even faster. When the winds reach 74 miles an hour, the storm becomes a deadly hurricane. Its name is Andrew. As it reaches 60 miles across, with 122-mile-an-hour winds, Andrew is headed straight for Florida. About 700,000 people are evacuated. By the time it touches land, the winds have picked up to as much as 200 miles an hour. For 6 hours, Andrew devastated Florida. When it was over, 44 people were dead. At least 160,000 were homeless, and the cost of the destruction was more than $25 billion. Even without high winds, storms can cause major damage. Canada, January 1998. A bank of freezing Arctic air moves across eastern Canada. The next day, warm air from the south moves in above it, trapping the cold air below, creating the perfect conditions for an ice storm. Rain falls through the freezing air as liquid, but when it hits the surface, any surface, it freezes solid, creating hard, sticky ice, difficult to remove, and very dangerous. Most ice storms last a few hours, but this one went on for 5 days. Layers of ice kept building up, as thick as 4 inches around a single twig. And as the ice got heavier, things began to fall under its weight, including millions of trees and hundreds of power lines. More than 4 million people were left without electricity, freezing in the dark for days. By the time the storm ended, 35 people were dead. It was the worst natural disaster in Canada's history. Air and water. It looks inviting, but sometimes it's just the calm before the storm. You never know when the weather might go wild.